This is where we hold them! This is where we fight!
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Dave, what's good, homie?
What's good, man? Glad to be on the
Man,
show.
we got special guest co-host here, Coach P, Dave Pershad, my older brother by 3 years, supporting the Yankees in Miami. So before we get into the show and what we're gonna do tonight, go over through some of the Masters previews about what's happening there. Dave, tell me about your Miami bet you got going on right now at the NCAA tournament, because this is pretty amazing.
Yeah, so right now, about 2.5 months ago, put a futures bet on Miami to win it all at 50-1. So when Miami wins on Monday night, I win $10,000. So just letting it ride. I'm not hedging. We're going to let this ride. And Larinaga is going to make some money for me.
All right, so let's get this straight. You have $200.
$200
Yeah,
bet,
you got
50-1 to win 10,000.
Okay, and you have Miami playing UConn, right?
Yeah.
So here's the deal: is if you cash out right now, you cash out for 1,400. So
What's the
you bet
1,400?
200 for 1,400 cash out. Why not just cash out, take the money? What they're playing UConn at number 1 right now.
We beat Houston. We beat Texas. We went through the gauntlet. UConn hasn't played anybody.
Okay.
Miami's
When's the
battle-tested,
game?
man. We beat Duke. We're in the ACC. We beat Duke. We beat North Carolina. We beat some tough teams out there, and it's our time, man. Miami's going to take us, and I'm going to get 10K. You guys
All
think
right,
I should hedge or what?
I don't know. Let's hear in the chat. Should he hedge it out, cash out for the 1,400, or should he let it ride for 10 grand? I've asked a bunch of my gambling friends about this, and the really gambling people are telling me that you guys need to let it ride. It's only a $200 bet. My guy Bruce Oops, the guy I bowl with Oops in league, he told me that you guys got to let it ride. I see TQ in the chat, man. TQ is the Bolero table MVP. My guy TQ is showing up to league at 4:30 in the afternoon to get me a table in Bolero. So shouts to TQ getting us a table. People are saying let it ride. I got other people saying cash out.
Let it ride? Cash out.
I mean, it's a cash. Yeah, Scott says cash it out.
Well, this is what's going to happen. Miami's going to beat UConn. They're going to be favored in the championship game. And then I'm going to bet a couple of thousand on the other team at plus. I'm going to win the plus bet, and I'm going to win Miami.
Got it. Yeah, you got to win. You got to go for the gold. TQ. Matt wants to know who just started in fan championship this year. We all know how that went for him. Got a second place to yours truly in the fantasy championship of our fantasy league. So, okay, enough about college basketball, Dave, because people are here for bowling podcasts. We want to talk bowling. I'm going to get into my league review, but we're going to talk first about Big Mike. Okay, where is Big Mike? Why did Big Mike not show up for tonight during Masters Week? Why didn't he show up to Sweep the Rack on our Thursday night show? For people who don't know this, he made the mistake of letting everybody know on Twitter that he's subbing doing a favor, a personal favor for a house shot, right? And I see Big Mike's in the chat right now on YouTube. We're here for the roast of Big Mike. So Big Mike is literally right now subbing in a house league. Okay, the house shot that he hates more than anything, he's subbing now. So I text Mike. I said, Mike, there is a lot of pressure on you tonight because if you don't bowl good, you will never hear the end of it from me because he roasts me every week that I shoot under 650 in my house league. So the question to you, Dave, and I'm throwing this out to you, is what does Mike bowl tonight? What do you think is good for a house shot league? And if he doesn't bowl good, what excuses is he going to make that he didn't bowl good?
Well, the first of all, the excuses are going to be the approaches are tacky. Some guy on his pair is using urethane. I mean that's pretty much what it's got to be. I mean, or the AC didn't work. You know,
I got the excuse already. He already pre-excused it. He's not bowling on the fresh house shot. They're bowling on the beat up house shot.
There's actually a burn house shot.
That's the first. He's already making excuses. So, Mike, in the chat, I know you're watching. Are you bowling right now? What have you bowled? I got to get the scoop right now.
What's the over-under on how many single pin spares he misses tonight?
Oh, the over and under is 4. 4 single pins.
4.5, 5. He's definitely leave a couple 10 pins and a couple 7 pins, and you know his spare game is definitely a spare shooter. You know he gets the spare shooter award every week when he goes to these tournaments. So you know he's definitely gonna leave some 10 pins, some 7 pins, and maybe some 4 pins that he's definitely gonna be June 14th and flag day all day long.
So here's the thing: is Mike bowled 700 in his sport league Tuesday night. When Mike, I would love to get the average of what Mike bowls the week he's not on the show. I feel like Mike always bowls not as good as he can because he knows he's got to come on the show and talk about it. The weeks he's not on the show, he always bowls good. I'm not sure if that's a strange coincidence or not, but he did shoot 700 on his sport league on the short using a purple hammer. I'm sure we'll hear all about it on Sunday. Be a big topic of discussion. So anyway, enough about Big Mike. Well, I'm sure we'll get enough of roasting him for another hour or so. My league review. So TQ, shouts to TQ. He's in the chat. Showed up early again. Got ourselves a table. I started off league at 280. I shoot 280 the first game, flat 10 in the second frame, sheet, and then it was back to the norm there for Bolero. 220, 2-0, shot 710. The team killed it though. We bowled great. My guy Greg Brooks, who congrats to Greg Brooks. You know, my guy's averaging like 150. Been working his ass off. I mean, he works like he bowls, practices, 3-4 times a week. He drills equipment. He's learning. He asks questions. He shot his first 300 on Monday night, I believe, or last week in Kyrene Chandler. Was a huge deal. Just the hard work. From where he started his league to where he is now is like night and day. And he loves the sport. He loves learning about it. And literally shot his first 300, averaging like 150 or 160. So yeah, first year hooking the ball. My guy's been really working hard at it. So shouts to him.
He went to the Billy Risley school of bowling.
Sandbagging. Yo, you need every handicap league you bowl. You need someone who has a low average that is going to improve within 15 or 20 pins throughout the year. Because if he shoots 550 and he's averaging 150 or 160 book, he shot 785 with handicap on Tuesday night.
Yeah, the Billy Risley rule of sandbagging.
Yeah, so first one was it's always a tough one, but shouts to him. We'll see. Maybe we'll see some. He loves the bowl of sport. He went to the Tat and bowled actually. So yeah, he likes to get out there and bowl. He doesn't care what he bowls on. He just wants to bowl. He loves the sport. So yeah, and he's not sandbagging because I from the first week he showed up to what he is now, it's like night and day improvement from just practicing and TQ working with him. But hey, they haven't asked me, TQ. Why hasn't G asked me to come down and practice with them? I would love to be able to help him out. show him a few things, get him to even be better than how he's doing right now. So, hit me up, TQ. Let's go practice a little bit.
Man, come on.
All right. So enough about my league review. Nobody gives a shit, honestly, about how I bowl in league.
Nobody cares about the league.
Nobody
did you get
cares.
a table? At least did you get a table to that or no?
Yo, yeah, TQ shut up. 4:30, man. Showing up early.
He's like it's like Cameron Indoor Stadium for Duke games. He's camping out, tenting out in the parking lot.
Yo, he puts his bag on the table. He goes, gets tacos next door. Yo, he seriously.
If he was in Brooklyn, the bag wouldn't be there.
Dude, it wouldn't be there. He better bring that shit with him if he's in Brooklyn. All right, let's talk about the Masters, because there's a lot of stuff going on at the Masters right now. Before we get into the bracket, because we're going to go through the winner's bracket, and we're going to pick matches from the winner's bracket. We're going to go through every match. There's been a lot of upsets already. Shouts to Bet Rivers, posting odds and posting before every match. All the round of matches, they're giving odds. They're literally going through every match, and it's been great. Like, I mean, who doesn't want to bet on every freaking match if you really wanted to? Unfortunately for me, Dave, I work on an Indian reservation, so
thank God. Thank God, man, you're saving us all money. You're saving Mike money. You're saving everybody money. Because if you could bet every match, you'd have to get a different phone just for the bets.
That's true, though. I mean, it would be too much booking while I'm at work. I'd probably get fired for being on my phone half the day. I threw a tweet on Twitter, a few tweets. I've been kind of battling the Twitter online audience that follows me and that doesn't follow me, because I was really dumpster diving this week on qualifying. I really was trying to figure out what was going on the bottom of the standings, let alone the top of the standings. And Terry Reunion asks, did they offer odds in each individual? They did. Yes, they did. At least on the 2 rounds that I checked, they were offering odds for every match. So it's good to see that betting is actually evolving on Bet Rivers. It's been amazing, actually. So if you're not familiar, Arizona, I'm not sure what other states you could actually do it. I think Mike's a lot more familiar than me when it comes to that. But I know Arizona and a few other states you could bet on bowling. It'll expand, I imagine, after when they realize that they probably have a lot of success with it. So let's talk a little bit about something that I put on Twitter. I know that a lot of people, especially some high amateurs that I know about personally, got shut out of bowling this tournament, Dave. Essentially what happened is, and I don't know the full details, that social media for USBC put out on their like Twitter or Facebook that they were going to be taking Masters entries at a certain time and day. I don't think word really was really strong out there. And I know most of obviously the pros that do it full time were probably on top of it. But I know a lot of amateurs that wanted to bowl got shut out. I know at least 2 personally. These are high-level amateurs, Dave. People, me and you know, that will easily average at least over 190 to 2-0 on that pattern. I looked through the standings. There was a total of 390 entries on this tournament. They shut out a bunch because the waiting list got filled up. And then you look, and there's at least 20 to 25 bowlers that averaged under 170. Okay. 3 averaged under 160. I'd say about, maybe off the top looking here, about 15, maybe a little bit around there, averaged under 170, the 160s to 169 to 160. My question to you is, should these bowlers be allowed to bowl? And should they be really should there be a stricter qualification to get into the Masters? So before you answer the question right now, the eligibility to bowl the Masters is you have to have a 190 book average.
Which everybody is on their mother.
190 book average, and you have to be obviously a USBC member. Those are the two eligible. If you have those eligibility qualifications, you sign up and you could bowl, and you could essentially cross and bowl with the best in the world.
So pretty much these guys signed up to have a pro-am. So they spent like $600 or whatever it is to enter for a pro-am, and they're crossing uh, throughout the house, uh, probably eating cheese fries, taking pictures, selfies with Belmo, and they're just having the time of their life. They brought their whole family there. They got their name shirts made up about 2 weeks ago, and they're trying to match like Kyle Troop. They got the different pants on, and their family is rooting for them. And maybe a couple of them are probably going to the bathroom, drinking a beer, and just having the time of their life. I mean, it's priceless. I mean, what they're doing is straight priceless. They're going to tell their grandparents that they competed in the Masters in 2023, and they bowled against Jason Belmonte because they're going to be on the same standing sheet, and they don't care what place they finished because they know they're going to be dumpster diving, throughout the week. And in the paddock, they're going to be taking pictures, getting autographs. They're going to go home, and everybody is going to make fun of them. Pretty much, right?
Here's the thing, though. I've been getting a lot of mixed bag emotions about this question because there's a lot of people that are on the wagon where it's like, well, how good you don't know how good you are until you get there, right? So maybe you're averaging a 205 in league and you want to go and be like, okay, let me go at least learn or compete and see how good I am or test myself on where I need to be. So there's a lot of that kind of bag, people who have.
I know it's a USBC championship. I know it's a USBC tournament. Maybe instead of the average in league 190, they make it a 190 average in the USBC tournament for a minimum number of games.
So the other argument that I get to a lot of the eligibility is you can't do it on a sport league average because not every center and not every area offers sport leagues, right? So there could be somewhere where maybe you have to drive an hour to 2 hours to bowl a sport league in some locations, right? They're not all in high populated metro areas. Now, to me, I put up a solution where you also have to run a PTQ, okay? But you don't make the PTQ a 1-8 or a 1-10. I think what it's been is you make the PTQ maybe a 1-3. You charge maybe extra money for labor for USBC having to run an extra day of tournaments, and you make the PTQ a longer PTQ instead of 8 games. Maybe you make it 2 blocks of 10 or 2 blocks of 5 to 10 total games, 12 total games, and maybe you do it on one day. So essentially, if you have 400 bowlers, you take 125 or something like that if it's 1-3, and then you're cutting out essentially a lot of the fat who would be averaging low. But then people are saying, well, it wouldn't be, people like the fact that anybody could sign up and bowl. And then, there's some people that are agreeing with me. So there's a lot of mixed emotions. I mean, what do you think? You think there should be a PTQ? You think that they should just?
I definitely think there should be some type of PTQ just for the sheer numbers of how come these people didn't bowl in the same pair as Belmo, So it's supposed to be a random draw, right, for lane assignments?
Right.
I'd love to see what Belmo's pair was. I'd love to see how these people got on pairs. I'd love to see if they're crossing. That'd be interesting because they definitely need to be in a PTQ. I mean, listen, I'm not claiming that these guys are terrible and they shouldn't bowl. I mean, yeah, they should participate, but give them an opportunity to make it to the big show. And you know what? Them bowling the PTQ is just as good as bowling in a tournament to them because that's their tournament. And if they earn it, the right to bowl, then you know what? Give them a shot. The problem is who should qualify for the tournament and who qualifies for the PTQ. That's something that you'd have to go over by points or by average or just share. I don't know. Did John Janowitz bowl the PTQ?
I mean, there wasn't for what? For the Masters? There wasn't. I mean,
yeah, for the Masters. Yeah. If there's a PTQ, how do we figure out who bowled? John Janowitz, does he have to bowl the PTQ or is he in the tournament?
Well, you have to make essentially the USBC will have to figure out who they bring in the main tournament and who qualifies, right? Maybe if you have an Eagle, you're exempt. You go right into the main Masters, right? if you have any kind of master, obviously PBA title, right, regional or national title, maybe you're exempted to the Masters, right, main qualifying. Like maybe
I have a better idea. Why don't you take the rules for the tat and do it in reverse? The people that are exempt from bowling the tat could bowl in the Masters, and everybody else has to bowl the PTQ.
maybe a $10,000 check. You're actually in there. That could be.
If you can't bowl the tat, then you get exempt to the Masters.
So the truth of it is, like, I see people saying, well, you don't even know who these bowlers are and whatnot. So my thing is I actually researched one of the bowlers who was low on the field to see what their house average was, right? I wanted to get an idea of, was this guy a 225 average in his house and bowled the Masters and average, like, whatever it was, 150 or 160. And what I found was that this certain person, I'm not going to name names because I actually respect anybody who went out there and bowled.
We're not here.
No, my thing is like, he averaged 190 in his house league for like 70 some games, I believe, and he averaged like 168 on sport for like 36 games. So he averaged 168 on sport and then decided that he was going to go out and bowl the Masters. So obviously you don't know the person, maybe he's trying to get better, whatever it is, but to me, if it's a major, a pro tournament major, Dave, a pro tournament major, and you have everybody either traveling to as a fan to watch this or paying money on Bowl TV to stream watch it.
Yeah, I love to stream watch those guys.
You do, but a lot of people want to watch the best in the world compete against each other, right? And obviously now it's a time to watch it because of the bracket is the best time to watch it as a fan, right? But for the integrity of the Masters, just like golf. Now, could you imagine, Dave, I'm a 105 golfer, right? Imagine if I was a USGA, right? I believe that's the golf body member, and I was online signing up to bowl to play the Golf Masters, and I got paired up with Tiger Woods. Okay, and I'm hitting first, and Tiger Woods. But you imagine, like, I'm flubbing it. It's going like 75 yards. It's hitting people. I killed like 6 people in my round of golf, Dave. And here Tiger is trying to play is this considered the same as like putting someone who's averaging 160 and putting him with Belmonte?
I think so. I agree. I think I totally agree. I mean, I could see them bowling a super regional or like a stop, right? But the Masters, the U.S. Open, I mean, these guys, they're not even averaging 160. It just makes, maybe, next time they should bowl 9-pin tap, and let's see how they bowl.
God. Yeah. So that was my biggest beef. And I respect everybody's opinion about Dave. Like, people were arguing with me. Everybody should be allowed to bowl. We love seeing, I see in the chat here that I think it was Blake Ernest wrote the best part of the Masters is watching nobody make a run and make a name for himself.
Not a nobody. But they're not a nobody.
Right.
A nobody is the guy that's averaging 150. He's a nobody. A people that they never seen before, like a Mike Martell, like a John Janowitz, they're somebody.
John Nolan. Let me throw some names at you, okay? Yeah. John Nolan to everybody was a nobody. Yep. Okay. We knew John Nolan. We bowled college with him. Yeah. John Nolan wasn't a nobody. John Nolan was
12-ounce curls.
John Nolan did play roulette during a college tournament in the middle of the squad when he got pulled from the lineup. FYI. Brett Wolf essentially was a nobody before he won the Masters. He was a somebody. You knew Brett Wolf as you were a bowler, right?
Yeah.
Jason Queen wasn't a nobody, right? Yeah. Art Brown wasn't a nobody, right? These are nobodies to maybe the public fans watching, but to guys who are competing bowling our whole lives, those aren't nobodies.
Is Steve Klompkin a nobody?
No. Right. So we'll go through the bracket.
The guys that are shooting 160 and they're out there having fun, taking pictures, they're doing their thing. These guys don't compete. This is the first tournament. They probably never even bowled a tournament in their life. And they said, you know what, guys? We're going to bowl the Masters. And you know what? Get out there, guys. They're flying to Detroit. Where is it? In Michigan this year, right?
Right.
I mean, I could see if it was in Vegas, but these guys are actually gearing up, man. they're probably drilling 5 balls, 6 balls before they get out there. They don't even know the patterns. They're getting out there, they're bowling, and they're just having a good old time. But they're nobodies, and they have no shot.
But that's the thing is, like, I don't mind them bowling. That's the thing is, like, this is where people are really coming down on me. The Dougie comes in saying that he was a no. Dougie, you're not a nobody, bro. You're somebody. You're Dougie. You're Dougie Vision. Dougie. Here's the thing is, I don't mind them bowling because that's what the great part about the Open and the Masters is that everybody can bowl.
But that's the USBC tournament. That's where those guys should be bowling. You know what? And let them get better at the USBC tournament. That's where everybody is supposed to bowl the championships.
Right. But look, my point is that the US Open and the Masters, everybody should be allowed to bowl. But there should be restrictions or PTQs or qualifiers to be able to bowl. And that was our biggest argument with Junior Gold. And I wish Mike was on the here for this because he hates Junior Gold for this specific reason. Is the fact that Junior Gold was letting a lot of kids that shouldn't be there bowl, and they would go there and they would be disappointed because they weren't as good when they really probably shouldn't be there in the first place because there should have been stricter restrictions and qualifyings to get in, right? And I'm saying with the Masters and the US Open, Dave, is that everybody should be allowed to bowl, but before they get to the main qualifying tournament where you're going to be paired up with a Belmonte, a Kyle Troop, Simonson, Tackett, they should be some kind of qualifying or restrictions, scrubbing essentially to get the people who want the experience to be there. But if they want to really get to the main tournament, they should have, qualify to get in, right? They should prove their skill to be able to cross with Belmonte. If you want to bowl with Belmonte, sign up for a Pro-Am. You know what I mean? Bowl with Pro, so.
Right.
Okay. Let's get into the bracket. Unless you have any last thoughts on that.
No, I was just looking forward to seeing Mookie. I wanted to see if Mookie Betts was going to pick opening day baseball or the Masters. And I guess we know where the love is for him is baseball. I don't think it has anything to do with the money. I just think that maybe he should have said, you know what, guys, I'm just going to hold off. I'm not going to play this week, and I'm going to bowl the Masters.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine the Dodgers?
That would have been great.
Oh, could you imagine if I would have loved for him to prank? He should have pranked the Dodgers front office with a camera and walked into the manager and the GM and be like, "I'm taking off opening day to bowl the Masters and see what they would have done."
Masters, man. I got a good look,
dude. No joke. The LA Dodger fans would have no joke flown to Detroit and literally stabbed. They would have stabbed them. No joke. Anyway, all right. Well, we got a big bracket to talk about. Okay, so. There's a lot of bowling going on right now. The winners bracket is taking shape pretty good right now. There has been some upsets. We're going to talk winners bracket only right now because the losers bracket literally reminds me of the bracket from basketball. Remember the basketball bracket where there was like 180 people, teams. The losers bracket's crazy. I'd hate to be going through the losers bracket. Imagine EJ Tackett shooting 730 and then having first round and losing. Was crazy, and Wesley Lowe shooting 750 and losing because Kevin Williams shot 300 the last game. There's been some amazing matches. So I'm going to share the screen here, and I'm going to put on the bracket, and we're going to go through some of these matches.
After we do this, I want to share my dark horses that I got. I'm going to bet. I will be betting on Bet Rivers.
Okay, perfect. So
already bet them on Bet Rivers.
Yeah, so let's go through. Actually, you know what? Give me a sec here. I don't want to share my screen. I want to share the actual window or tab here. I think that's a better view. Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's talk a little bit about this side of the bracket, Dave, because Belmonte, and this is how crazy the Masters is. Okay, let's talk Belmonte for a sec. Belmonte literally crushed qualifying. I mean, he led by 30 or 40 pins, but other than that, he was leading by hundreds after that because Buttriff had a huge last set, right? Belmonte averages whatever it was. I think he shot even 800 his first three, and then loses his first match to Bowleby, shooting 620 on the fresh.
To the kid, remember the kid prodigy, Kim Bowleby. Remember years
He was
ago,
on our
he was the
show.
prodigy. He was the prodigy, man. Kim
Yo,
Bowlby.
Bowlby, the prodigy, was on the show.
Prodigy, man. The prodigy got him, man. Prodigy got the blueprint, took him down.
Yeah, I think Belmonte was the way the left is shaping up, being the number 1 seed. I feel like that was a bad draw for him. But he bowled 620.
Bad draw. He shot 620.
I know, but it's true. You're right about that. That's a fair point. So Belmonte gets bounced. Now, would it be fair to say, and this is a crazy, crazy prediction, would it be fair to say that I wouldn't be surprised if Belmonte climbs out of the losers bracket?
Well, no, you're definitely gonna be surprised. I can see him bowling EJ eventually, but I think maybe Belmonte was just scared to bowl Rash the second round, and that's why he's just like, I don't want to bowl him anymore, man. And the bottle, I can't use the bottle anymore, and Rash, I don't know, man. Maybe he's just scared of Rash.
Come on, man. You're still on that Rash bottle thing. Oh, dude. Okay, so Rash, right? Now Rash beats Parker Bowling. Rash bowling now Bowlby.
Yeah.
Who do you like in that match? Rash Bowlby.
I tell you what, I like Rash. I think this is his week. You have to play on top of the pattern right now, from what I'm watching, and he is on top of it. And Rash, he's been quiet. He's been injured. I think this is his time. I think Rash is going to run. I think he's going to make a. I think he's got the fire, and he's ready to roll.
Yeah, so correction here, because I was off here, because I saw there's Robert came in. Belmonte got bounced in the second round. He actually beat I'm not even going to try to say Santu's last name in the first round. Yeah, so Belmonte, sorry, I'm correct. I know a lot of people are going to correct me. It's Belmonte got bounced in the burn against Bowlby in the second round.
Burn, huh? Wow, the burn. I think that he would be better on the burn.
He would. Yeah, you think so, right? Because he went 650 the first match against Santu. So, yeah, correcting. I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't want to get yelled at by the fans, which I know I will be. Okay. So, anyway, Rash, Bowlby. Rash is definitely would be my pick, too, against Bowlby. I think Rash is going to end up my Big Mike's pick, Dio Bernard. This was Big Mike was on Dio Bernard train from the get-go.
Who's this guy?
I believe Dio Bernard is a two-hander, young bull. Been kind of like here and there popping in.
Big Mike doing the research.
He did. He put a bet on Dio Bernard in, and the odds are pretty crazy. So I know he's riding Dio Bernard's train pretty hard there. By the way, Dave, you know who I put a bet on? Dan McClelland.
Listen, Dan. I think Dan.
He missed too. He missed.
I know. He usually bowls good in the Masters. He bowls good in the majors. Dan is he could be one of the best pro bowlers in history ever, not to win a title ever. I mean, AJ Johnson he's the new Dan McClelland, because AJ is a beast and he reminds me so much of Dan. And Dan, unbelievable. He's the best bowler ever to not win a title. I don't care what anybody says.
And retired early, like like Fagan kind of did.
Early, man. He hung
Fagan at least had titles,
Barry Sanders, man, he hung it up.
He hung it up. Dan, did see Dan on the roster, so I did put a little bit of money on him. I think it was like $5, but he had good odds. Okay, so I'm gonna take Vi just because I think Vi has just experience here. I think Vi is gonna end up bowling Rash. I think Vi is actually gonna be beating Rash. So I think Vi is actually gonna get pretty far in this. Just my opinion. Vi is just kind of Mr. Consistency. He's going to be around 670 to 700, right?
Yeah, he's good.
So let's talk Russ Oviatt because
new hairdo.
He does, but he sneaks by DJ Archer, and then goes 740 against AJ Johnson.
Yeah,
and now he has to bowl Kyle Sherman,
who beat good match. Just a good match.
That's a good match. But here's the thing: is Kyle Sherman, right, bowls Chris Barnes. I don't know if you saw how that match ended, but Chris Barnes needed to make a 3-6-10 to advance, and chop the 3 off the 3-6-10 to lose by a pin in the last shot of the match. Now, just on the record, I'd be a huge hypocrite if I said that was a choke, because shooting a 3-6-10 to win a match, especially at the Masters, is not an easy task, right? Now, if he gets 2 pins, I'm not sure if he was on a strike.
It's bad luck. It's bad luck for him to just get one.
Get 1. But here, I don't know if this was the case. Now, maybe someone in the chat could tell me. If he gets 2 there, does he win? Because was he on a strike when he chopped? And he also missed the 7 pin earlier. And Nico Hazem is winning the spare shooter award. So, there's a long ways left, Nico, in the bracket. But yeah, so Barnes could easily win that award. But I feel bad, man, because 3-6-10's hard to shoot. I mean, Dave, am I wrong?
I mean, Barnes is tough as they get. I mean, especially in the match. I mean, Sherman's he's a great bowler himself. I mean, that's gonna be a good match. I mean, I would take Kyle in that match just because of experience, but Russ he's awesome. He could shoot. He's throwing the ball well this week, and I mean, Russ is a good young kid too. I mean, this is gonna be a good match. A lot of energy in that match.
Yeah, Charlie Tapp writes he needed the spare to win. So there it is. If he gets 2, he ties, and then if he needs to make the spare to win. I like Russ Oviatt beating Kyle Sherman. Just looking at the scores all week, Russ Oviatt's been in the top 5 or 10 all week. Bowl 740. Yeah. I think Russ Oviatt's going to end up bowling Anthony Simonson. Simonson's going to make this show, Dave. And that's
is he going to bowl back up against Williams?
Oh, man, he should do that in practice.
Oh God, I don't know.
You got to like Simo here. He's going to be the favorite.
I
think Simo's going to end up bowling Oviatt. Simo's going to win. It's going to be a Simo Vi. In my opinion, is going to be this bracket. It's going to be an interesting finish. But hey, don't sleep on Kevin Williams either. No. I mean, he's won 760, 690, but this is the match to watch right now. Kevin Williams, Simo.
Yep. That's going to be energy. A lot of energy going on there. Simo's not going to back down. He's a pit bull, and he's one of the hottest guys on the world right now.
All right. So we're going to go to my side of the bracket here because I'm calling it my side of the bracket because I don't want to cloud anybody.
Uh-oh.
But Dave, what did I text you before the Masters started?
TD. You like TD?
I said I was in the shower, and the bowling gods spoke to me like they spoke to me about Matt Ogle.
In the shower.
I was in the shower, and the bowling gods spoke to me.
Yep.
And I said, I had 2 names. The first name that came to mind in the Masters was Tom Doherty.
Tom Doherty.
And Mike will vouch because I group text you guys.
Yep, I have a screenshot of it.
Tom Doherty and Tom Smallwood were my 2 picks. The reason why, and I talked about this last week, I think, on the show. The reason why I like Tom Doherty and Tom Smallwood is because I saw the pattern. It was 45 or 46 feet. There was a decent amount of volume. Give me Doherty. Give me Smallwood. Give me the palm.
Yeah, give me the palm.
Give me the guys who could create the hook. There's nobody better on the right side when the back ends are tight than Tom Smallwood, and you know that you bowled college with him.
Yeah.
He beat me at a mini eliminator years ago where you couldn't make the ball hook in the back of the lane, and he's literally has probably an arrow right of me. And after that, I was like, man, this kid is unbelievable what he could do.
Smallwood.
So let's go to
a legend in lead pins. He could bowl some lead pins. That's not my boy. I tell you, Martell.
Brooklyn.
I like Martell. I like his energy. He's on top of the pattern, and he looked like he was so on top of the pattern. This is Mike Martell's week, man. Brooklyn bowlers play. They know how to bowl match play. They know how to give the high hard one. And Mike Martell, he has a shot. My man from Brooklyn is bowling well.
Here's the thing: is the left side's decent this week. I think the pattern's actually pretty fair, if you ask me. A little bit higher scoring than I like to see him, but no complaints on my end. Looking at this bracket right here, just kind of go through. Doherty is going to have a tough time. Cooley has won 760, 740 his first 2 matches.
He beat Swenson. He beat Jasper.
He beat Jasper.
I mean, Cooley yanks it in there too, man. He can get it back, man. I mean, Cooley is the real deal.
So a few things, Nico. I see you blow up the chat, man. Good to see you. So here's my thoughts. I did see Kevin Williams shoot the 300. Was crazy to go through. Amazing game. I love the fact that there's no urethane except on the left side. Which there's always going to be left side urethane. That's not going to go away. I do think the pattern being 46 feet, 28 mils is going to take away from the rights using urethane. I mean, it's just hard for them to use urethane when they could use performance, but the left is a little bit different. So yeah, so thoughts on that. So let's go through a little bit more here. Prather Dombrowski.
Dombrowski's a player too, man. I mean, Prather, Prather, he's due, man. I mean,
He's due.
He's due. Prather's due. I mean, but Dombrowski, I bowled USBC Open with him one year. I mean, he could play, man.
So that's a great match to watch. Dombrowski, his first 2 matches beats Darren Tang by like 160. That was not even a fucking. That was that. Tang was literally he forfeited after the
he DNF like the high roller match. The guy walked out in the 5th frame and went back to the bar.
Tang DNF literally mid-match.
DNF.
Packed his shit up and after the second game and walked out. So he beats Tang by 100 million, and then he ends up going. Where am I here? Ryan Simonelli, great match, 730, 709. Didn't get a chance to see it. And now has to bowl Prather, who went 640, 730. So to me, if you look at, I believe they're bowling on the fresh, right? Now I'm looking at the fresh scores, right? You got to like Dombrowski, who shot 680, 678 on the fresh compared to Prather.
End over end.
To me, this is the upset. If I'm going to bet right now, I guarantee you I get plus 100. I get plus odds on Dombrowski. I'm probably going to take Dombrowski on the plus odds, right? Okay, so let's go down here.
Hey, my man Tom Hess, man. Tom Hess, he's a player, man. That's my boy Tommy. I beat him in the high roller 2001 in the top 64, man. I'm never let down. Tom Hess, the guy has he's won senior events, he won majors. If anybody could do it, he's got the juice, man.
Dude, Tom Hess is bowling great right now. I mean, he's making literally top 12s and top 24s in like the regular tour for
he's in great shape, man. Tom Hess, he's you know what it is. He's just staying in shape. I'm sure he's still lifting, and you know what? He's got the intensity, man. Tom Hess he's a player.
Just listening to Tom Hess on Bowl TV, you really get the sense that he loves bowling. He loves it.
I need a girl that loves me like Tom Hess loves bowling.
He loves it.
He loves it, man. He loves it, man. He just wants to talk. He's so positive. Tom Hess is such a good dude.
Yeah. So, and he's won this tournament before, so he knows how to do it, right? He's a seasoned veteran. Don't sleep on Tom Hess, right? I love to see Tom Hess make the show. And
we need Tom Hess.
Great dude. And guess what? Out of anybody in the top 64, if I ever get into a fist fight with somebody, I want Tom Hess on my side backing me up.
Call Tom Hess. I mean, I'm not calling Tommy Smallwood, that's for damn sure, but I will be calling Tom Hess.
Not calling Tom Smallwood, I'm calling Tom Hess.
Yeah.
Bar fight, I want Tom Hess on my side. There's no doubt about that.
I want Tom Hess rolling with me, man.
So let's talk Tom Hess's. Tom Hess bowled 7-0 and beat John. I believe that's John Fury, 695.
Yeah,
great match, right? Then he ends up in a shootout with Mitch Hoope, 758 to 715. Beats a young bull, right? I bet you the hypeness was real in that match.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't you saw what? Did you see how he the last strike he threw to win?
No.
Oh man, he ran it off his hand. He ran it out, and he gave him he gave him one of these, man. Tom Hess, man, he ran it out.
What is it, the Hess Howl?
Yeah, the Hess Howl, man. Woo!
Here's another interesting. We'll talk Tom Hess's opponent here. Bonta. Is that what's I don't even know Bonta's first name. Is that Brandon? Bob?
Bonta. I thought it was Fonta.
Bonta.
Fonta.
Anyway, Mike put money on Bonta too. So Mike has Bonta at like plus like 500 to 1.
Who's him? So is he a nobody or is he a some?
No, he's a somebody. There was odds on him.
Somebody.
There was odds on him. If there's odds on him in Bet Rivers, he's a somebody.
Yeah,
Brandon Bonta. Yeah, that was the first. I was like Bob Bonta. No, Brandon Bonta. So he bowls and goes through Mosley. I don't know who Mosley is, so that's an unknown for me.
Linebacker, he's the Jets linebackers bowling on the offseason.
Mosley or Sugar Shane Mosley. He ends up in a shootout with Lavery Spar, a 618 to 608, and I'm being
Tough shootout,
sarcastic.
man. He's a grinder. Avery Spar he's a grinder.
So Bonta on the fresh bowl 750, but then on the burn bowl 618. So Bonta's licking his chops to bowl Hess on the fresh, right?
Okay.
So he just shot 750 on the fresh.
Tom is good on the fresh too, man.
Yeah. So Blake, I think this is where I love my fan, right?
Oh, really?
Love the fan base. He's a player, right? He had odds on him, and that's why Mike put money on him. Mike. Hey, Mike.
The college circuit. Mike knows the college circuit. He used to be a high school bowling coach.
He was the GOAT of high school coaches.
He's the GOAT of high school bowling. I can't wait till my worst of the week is going to be towards Mike.
Okay, so Bonta has interesting match because Bonta has been bowling big on the fresh, so we'll see what happens there. Okay, last match. Your boy, we talked Mike Martell, Brooklyn representing, right?
Yeah.
Beats Brandon Novak 690 to 640 on the fresh. Then bowls bowls Nick Pate and beats him on the burn 670. So Martell's going to be close to around 670 to 700.
Yeah, Mike, you have to bowl a score to beat Martell.
Right. So here is the biggest shock of the Masters right now. The biggest upset. Okay, Buttriff shoots 795 on the fresh, right, and beats Packy, defending Kokomo champ Pack, right? Kokomos. And then bowls 590 against Zach Wilkins. Right? To me, this is the biggest upset of the Masters right now. Maybe not as bad as the Belmo losing in the second round.
About 600 for Buttriff, and it's
790 to 590. Right? So here's the thing is, Martell bowl now Zach Wilkins. I actually like Martell in that match. I like Martell.
I'm going with the Brooklyn kid.
I like Martell bowling Hess, and I think I like Hess. I like Hess, actually.
I'm going with I'm taking the Hess train, man. We're going all the way to the Hess Howl.
The Hess Howl. All the way to So that's where our bracket looks like. But Dave, so I'm going to ask you right now, give me your prediction to win, and give me your top four, just looking at the bracket here. Or if you want to go just who you think's going to win, your call.
I like Sean Rash to make the show.
You like Rash to make the show?
I like Rash. I'm telling you, Rash.
What about losers bracket? You think anybody's going to get? I mean, someone's got to come out.
EJ Tackett or Belmonte.
Way to go out on a limb there. Way to go out on a limb.
I mean, EJ Tackett or Belmonte. You know what? If John Janowitz is still alive, don't sleep on him.
You go. He's hometown for you.
Yeah, I mean, JJ is. I mean, if JJ is still alive,
look at this.
I should have done my research before I got on here.
Dude, look at this losers bracket, people. Look at this. How could you even go through?
There he is, Janowitz right there. He bowls Barnes. I like Janowitz. It could be he's my dark horse to make it out of the losers bracket.
like
Stern. If you hear me, if you're listening, JJ, don't let me down.
So I mean, this is, you can't even predict like people come out of this bracket. There's just craziness going on.
It's a crapshoot, and you know what? Half the people that lose the next round, it's if you get out of the losers bracket, it's like fighting it's like a Royal Rumble of you're the first person that gets eliminated, and you're fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting until Brock Lesnar comes out number 30 and just throws you over the top rope anyway. So you know what? And hopefully you get enough money to make it back from Detroit.
Okay, so I'm going to go through the futures right now, and I'm going to give you what Bet Rivers odds to win the tournament at this possible moment is, right? Okay. Simonson's plus 300, which is not good odds for this bracket, right? Prather's plus 500, Vi's plus 700, Belmo is still plus 800 in the losers bracket.
Yeah.
Did you think they learned their lesson from when we pumped them
after we took all their money last week? They learned their lesson.
You're not going to see Belmo go under plus 1,000. Trust me.
We took all Bet Rivers money. They don't want none of us.
Dari's plus 1,500. Hess is plus 1,500.
Ooh, I like Hess.
Buttriff is plus 1,500 still in the losers bracket. Yeah. Okay. For me here, Rash is plus 2,000.
I'll take Rash.
I like Dombrowski at plus 2,000.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking at who the best odds still in the winners bracket.
Mikey Martell. What's Mikey Martell?
Hold
I guess
on.
he's probably 30 to 1, right?
Mike Martell is not
even listed.
There's not anything listed on Mike Martell.
Mike
Oh wait, no,
Martell
he's
is-
here. He's
right.
plus 1,700. He's the same
I'd rather
odds as
take that.
EJ Tackett.
I'd rather take Rash at 2,000. Mikey
Yeah.
Martell is good at 17 to 1. Tom Hess is there. There's some. You still got some dogs in there.
It is. I got to pull this comment up here. Terry, Masters in WrestleMania on Sunday. Going to be a good day. Terry, can you guess out of any Sunday in the next month and a half what day I picked to move on is? Without even knowing?
Sunday.
Yeah, I picked Sunday. So,
You know what,
I'm
Terry? You know
moving-
why Sunday's going to be a good day? Is because I'm going to be hedging my bets with Miami when they destroy UConn on Saturday night, and I'm going to be.
So plus 700, 7 to 1, but plus 700 is still in the sports world is still great odds.
No, but not. There's so many people. I don't know,
But not for this, dude. This format, plus 300 for Simo right now. No, dude.
Shot.
I'm not gonna mess with that. I'm gonna take someone like a Dombrowski or a Rash or a Hess, right?
Yeah.
I want someone still in the winners bracket.
Of course.
How do we know how the show works this week? I'm pretty confident that it's a top 4 or maybe top 5 step ladder, right? I'm not sure if it is.
If you pull the bracket up, it'll show you. What did Mike? Do we have a Mike? What did Mike pull the first game? Do we know?
No, I don't know. We'll find out though. I'm sure he'll talk all about it on the show Sunday. We'll definitely be asking him. I think there's four seeds. Someone will tell us in the chat. I know for a fact. It's either going to be 4 or 5 step ladder.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, Dave. Well, I think we pretty much covered the Masters.
Yeah, I love the Masters. The Masters, honestly, for everybody out there, I know we're saying we're making, we're kind of hard on some of the people that bowl, but if you're going to bowl any tournament as an amateur, this is the tournament to bowl, is the Masters. You can see how good you are. The lanes are fair, and anybody can beat anybody on any pair of lanes in 3 games. We know that, and the Masters by far is the best tournament to bowl, and I'm just happy they have a lot of entries. I know my man Rob Gottschall is he has something to do with it, running the tournament. He's a great director, and this is the tournament that is the most prestigious, and to win. And anybody in the chat out there, these college kids to bowl, amateurs can bowl, and we can mix it up. Like you said, Belmonte, you could beat Belmonte. He led it. He shot like 6-0, whatever. He lost. So this is your time if you want to bowl somebody to take them out.
Yeah. So Blake brings up a great point because there are 2 shows on FS1 Friday night. There's a show 7 p.m. and there's a show 8 p.m. It looks like they're going through the losers bracket, the elimination bracket.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
And then Sunday 1 p.m. is the finals on Big Fox. Now,
there's a shootout. Isn't there a shootout for like the last? Don't they take the top 4 people left to bowl for like 2 spots or something like that?
There's something going on that I'm not, but I'm looking it up because I was just under the impression that it was literally just going to be like a top 4, top 5 on the big show. But yeah, FS1 is also having 2 shows, which is crazy. So I apologize. I didn't actually realize that there was actually 2 shows Friday night. You see what happens when Mike doesn't show up. He doesn't keep me in line. But I'm going to be looking that up and seeing what I can find out from the PBA website and see if I can get an idea. But if anybody knows in the chat, let me know. Oh wait, so they're calling it the USBC Masters Match Play. Yeah, is on Friday 7 p.m. on FS1. So that's something. I'm not sure how many people they're actually taking for that. But yeah, so keep in mind,
people, to the PBA, man.
Friday night.
But I know, is that the World? I know they're having a USA West the World. Is that it?
No, that's, what do you mean, Friday night? No, this is the Masters. This is Match Play.
That's some other gimmick. they're doing that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think it's on the losers bracket because in the bracket itself, if I pull it up, it shows that it's something going on with the losers bracket. I think it's probably like
Alright.
4, maybe 2. Yeah, some.
We'll see who the
I don't
biggest
want to really
loser is.
say what's wrong.
Yeah.
See who the biggest loser is. All right. I think we're gonna go into the worst of the week here. I know we're gonna give the people what they want here, so we can get everybody out here. I'm still trying to figure out if Mike shot over 200 his first game, but
Probably not.
probably not. So I'm gonna give him here, and let's get us going here. All right, I'm gonna pull up your worst of the week, and people who's listening on audio, Dave, you have to give them exactly play by play of what's going on with this video. So worst of the week goes to One Bad Shot a Day Instagram account.
I started following One Bad Shot a Day. I looked in. What they do is they post a bad shot of somebody throwing a bad shot every day, and so I want to see if I could send them a video of somebody and get them on there. I think it's pretty cool. So this video is the Iowa State High School Bowling Tournament, and as you can see, the bowling alley's packed because there's really nothing to do in Iowa except bowl, hunt, and drink beer. So you know that there's standing room only at the Iowa Bowling State Tournament. So this young gentleman, high school coach, he probably didn't get coached by Mike, the GOAT of bowling coaches. He's on the front 11, and
let me know when you want me to hit play.
I mean, you can hit play anytime you want, but so he's on the line right now. He's got front 11. Everybody's watching, two-hander, and he throws it in the drink. Does not come back from the gray board, and shoots 290. And if you listen to it, everybody is like cheering him on until it gets to the arrows, and then I hear a couple people laugh, and then they look like this old man is looking at his friend right here, and he's like, "Are you kidding me? This guy just threw the ball in the gutter." And look, it's not even close. Like this guy straight just dips it in the gutter like he's getting dead wood out of the gutter. You know what I mean? Like, hey, young fella, get the dead wood out. Don't worry about your 300. Get the dead wood out of the gutter. But that is my worst of the week. And young fella from Iowa, don't worry, man. I'm sure you have a great career ahead of you. But you'll never win this down. But you did win worst of the week, and your Rosenbach will be sent to that bowling alley.
So my thoughts here is that I believe he needed to take a re-rack, that the head pin was off spot during that matchup.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't come back to those gray boards, but
I feel like
just
the
look at
ball.
people in the audience. These guys, man. The guy was using the newest and greatest Roto Grip. I think it was a Pearl Jam or something like that. I really couldn't tell when it was blending in with the gray board. So Roto Grip, that's some good PR for your bowling ball.
I love it. All right, cool. Well, good worst of the week there. So
You
my
can't
worst.
top that. You can't top that. There's no way.
Oh, I can, and I will. My worst of the week goes to
Cowboy.
Caveman Ball in Grants Pass, Oregon.
Oh God.
Where this gentleman was filmed only to see this guy bowling in cowboy boots.
Does he have a sole on it? What sole is he using from Dexter?
Those look like the 4s.
Fours?
Yeah, I also believe he used probably the same bowling shoes on his horse when he rode into the bowling alley. But I can't imagine trying to like bowl after this guy in practice, and the approaches have to be scuffed up, right?
Oh my God! What if his spur is probably destroying the approach?
Yeah, word on the street is this gentleman is actually a 235 local house average league and has 75 honor scores.
I'd like to see him pull up to the Masters, man, next year. See how he does.
Oh my God! Please let him cross with Belmo and Simo, and let's just see how people react to that.
I mean, I could see him hanging out at the bar after Ronnie Russell.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, like I could definitely probably drink a beer with this guy, and
Bush Heavy. He's drinking Bush Heavy, that's for sure.
Yeah, Bush Heavy. Maybe sing some Brad Paisley. Yeah, I could see myself have some Paps. No Post Blue. We got to support the PBA sponsors. The Paps, the blue ribbon, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, shouts to
Cowboy.
Where's the assless chops? Charlie Top wants to know. I
But if
doubt
I bring
Oregon. You're gonna have to go to downtown Oregon to find the assless chops, Charlie.
but he
Not
looks like
Grants Pass.
he's posting, man. I think he threw a good shot because he's posting.
He he did post, so I'd imagine. Look, and he's bowling next to Mamma Mia too, so
I think
he might be a patch pirate. I didn't
he's
see the
definitely
shirt.
he's sponsored, man. He's sponsored by Fair Calhoun
Fair
Bowling
Calhoun.
Supply in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah, definitely sponsored by someone named Calhoun. I could definitely see that. So,
Yeah, Fair Calhoun Bowling Supply.
and I guess they also found a horseshoe in his bag too for good luck.
Oh wow, no,
Yeah, so I heard that too.
I'm not the horseshoes, man.
No, so that's our worst of the week, and then yeah. All right, people. So Dave, final thoughts. We appreciate you joining co-host AP, filled in for Mike. Big shoes, and I mean that in the both sense of it, right? Big shoes to fill from Big Mike. We appreciate you and your time filling in. And the truth of it is, I text Dave before, and I said, Dave, I want you to come on and co-host, but I think I'm going to ask Bill O'Neill to co-host.
Yeah.
And then I thought twice about asking Bill, and I said, you know what? There is no shot in hell Bill is coming on the show after the Masters performance, not making it, and I know that's a disappointment for him. I did see someone in the chat say that Bill switched back to 15 mid-tournament.
No.
I don't know if that's.
I think a lot of them are going back to 15. I don't know why they would even go to 14, but I don't know. I'd love to know his thoughts on it.
Don't worry. I'm going to be texting him to get the answer to give to the people Sunday night of like what happened.
My final thought is when Miami wins, I'd like to come back on the show next week for like 30 seconds just to show my stack off. You know what I mean? And
all right.
I need cash money, but appreciate you coming on Shoot the Rack. It's always a pleasure. You guys are doing a great job, and keep it up.
We appreciate it. And for anybody that doesn't know Dave, Dave is the king of the mystery score at the TAT. He's actually they gave him a trophy.
The leading money winner.
He is the leading money winner at the TAT. He kills the mystery score at the TAT so bad that Jamie McWilliams, the tournament director, actually presented him with a trophy for being the all-time money leading winner for the TAT. So congrats on that amazing bowling accomplishment.
I mean, my whole life, all I wanted to be was the leading money winner in something. And if it has to be the mystery score, I've won it many times. I can't even count anymore. I'm actually, when I win it and it's not for more than like $700, I get pissed. I really do. And I won it a couple of times for a couple hundred here, and I do get pissed. And my brother looks at me and says, "You're so ungrateful. You're an ungrateful piece of shit." I walk up there and I'm like, "You got to be kidding me! I won for $200. Come on, man."
So if anybody doesn't know what the mystery score at the TAT is, after every squad they pull a score from games one. I believe it's 150 to 300. And and it's a progressive jackpot. And if you hit it on the first number, you get the progressive. And if you don't hit it on the first number, you get like usually it's $100. And it's most of the time at the tournament, the TAT, it's usually 1,500. If you get it pulled first. I've gotten pulled first. I ended up splitting it 1 year, but not Dave. Dave has won multiple times the progressive, and so Dave, tell people where they want to follow you on Twitter. I know you're not too active on Twitter that much as me and Mike are, but
Bricktown 11, New York, NYC. You know, I'm on there. You could hit me up. You know, I have some famous celebrity friends that I talk to on there. If you ever want to, mix it up with me. And I'm just living the life down in Miami. You know what I mean? My pull-out game from USBC.
So Kevin Weeks, right? Sounds like the pull-out game from the USBC Nationals. I mean, look, nothing is as good as the pull-out game. Your pull-out game's got to be strong these days.
Hey, listen, it has to be dead strong, man. You can't be 44 years old and Robbie 41 without pull-out game not being strong.
Not being strong.
All right. So
Absolutely.
take it there. That's the wisdom of the week for you guys.
It is.
You college young bucks.
So final thoughts for me is, look, there's a lot of bowling on this weekend, the Masters. This is, what we waited for all year. This is one of the, best majors to watch. There's a lot of bowlers who essentially a lot of people don't know that make good runs in this tournament. There's bowling all day tomorrow starting at 8 a.m. to the show on FS1 at 7 o'clock at night. I mean, it goes literally from start to finish. Shouts to Bowl TV. They're, doing a really good job trying to cover all of this. It is a lot of hours. It is a lot of manpower to do what they do. And I appreciate it. I wish I could watch more, but unfortunately I have to work. So, it sucks for me on Masters Week. I wish I would end up getting COVID this week than 2 weeks ago. So at least I could have stayed home and watched the Masters all week. So please, support Bowl TV. They were doing really well, in my opinion. And yeah, so that's about it. We're gonna wrap it up here. People, follow us on Twitter, Sweep the Rack. I'm Brooklyn Rob 11. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit like, subscribe. Really, that's really all we ask from the people to do. Help us out.
Good.
And yeah, Dave, again, we appreciate you coming on. And yeah, see y'all later.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.